So at this juncture, permit me to say that we are much honored to have Kiira Motors Corporation with us here, and we are very glad to have you here. So at this very juncture, permit me to invite our Dean of Students, Dr. Dorothy, technologist. She has supported us a lot. She is very innovative and matters of such circumstances. She will guide us very well. Let me invite her to open this occasion officially, if only to start on a basis of a good movement. Madam Dr. Dorothy O'Carroll, can you get me? Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, we can get you. I'm going to first say how honored we are to have you here. Just mentioning to the audience how you've been supporting us and how you are a technologist. And now that you are dealing with Kiira Motors, it will be very much honor of you to take us through and open an occasion officially. I would be giving mic back to you to open the occasion official with your remarks.
Okay. All right. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for this kind invitation. Let me put on my video. All right. Hope you can see me now. All right. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. It's a really great opportunity to be part of the organizing behind the scenes. Really, I can't say part of the organizing because the MES team has done it. You've done it all by yourselves, but I thank you for allowing me to be part of it. And so, John, on behalf of your whole team, I really appreciate the opportunity to engage with you in such activities. Also because the Dean is the patron for MES, and it is good that I am busy. So at the end of my term, or at the end of your term, because you're going to finish before me, when you are being asked, what did the patron do? Hopefully you will have some things that you can successfully report on. So that is really good. Going to the topic at hand, first of all, I'm really most grateful to Kiira Motors for taking the time to actually join and be part of this webinar. They're very, very busy. Just yesterday, they were hosting the Minister for Science, Technology, and Innovation, and still they have the time to spare to be with students, which I think is very pertinent because this is actually the history of Kiira Motors, that it started out of student projects and of course got nurtured and supported and grew to the level where it is now. So I want to give kudos to them. I want to in particular highlight Professor Togboa, Tikodi Togboa, who also taught me. So he has also served as a mentor to myself and to so many actually of the lecturers that we have here. And Pim, okay, Paul, I think I have to call him formally and everything. Yeah, so Kiira Motors, its origins is SEDAT in terms of the projects that it runs. And it's also a testament to the outreach activities that SEDAT also has been doing over a number of years. Because one of the reasons why the first car, or the first prototype, if I may call it that way, was called SMART. It was in recognition of the fact that some of the ideas actually came from an innovation student, a student innovation team from Kisubi, St. Mary's Kisubi, and that's the acronym SMART and everything. So for all the students who are part of this initiative, I really want to encourage you. And again, I want to thank MES so much that in spite of the lockdown and how difficult it is to get around, and even as we, the university, are trying to see how we can resume, I don't know when, so please don't ask me that question because I don't have an answer of that one in particular, but I know we are working tirelessly behind the scenes how we can resume online. So I think, MES, you are leading by example by showing that even your activities, and more especially since you have a very short work affected, having had the elections delayed and all. So I think it's very good that you are still able to run very, very good programs using online activities. So I know you're going to have someone speaking about Kiira Motors, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about them. I just wanted to emphasize one, that actually it is from a collaboration of faculty and students. So, and these are students right from secondary school. So if there are any first years that are in this webinar, it means you are actually ahead of the people who are part of the very, very original ideas in terms of this where we are today. That is very important. The other thing is that these were all faculty members who are open to working with students. And I know sometimes students will be, oh, you know, how do we approach so and so? How do we approach? I mean, the worst that you will get is no, okay? But faculty are always very much willing to work with students. And the thing is that you're so many, so we can't put out signposts or work with signposts on our back that, you know, hey, please come join us and everything. But students who take the initiative to reach out to you and say, what could we work on? What are you working on? I'm interested in this. Please don't say anything, okay? Yeah, because if you come and tell me I want to do anything, then you are telling me that I'm giving you a lot of work as well, because then I have to figure out what does anything actually mean. So do your homework, all right? So if you're coming out to say engage with myself, and now speaking as myself as a lecturer, right? You know that you can't come ask me about something from a civil engineering perspective or because that's not my strength. Okay. So I oversee engineering programs, but that's more from an administrative point of view. Okay. But from a technical point of view, I'm an electrical engineer specializing in telecom. So time to find out who is doing what, okay? Because that's also one of the big legacies and the culture around Kiira Motors. And our father had opportunity once they were eventually when they grew, okay, because it was a project and it grew to the point that it was now ready for commercialization. So it had to be spun off from SEDAT to form its own entity with its new home in Ginger. And I think for those who are fortunate enough to have watched TV, I think it was the other day or yesterday, it was yesterday, you could see the massive project that was there. And all of you take pride that that is something which from here. But one thing that has a left the Kiira Motors team, and especially for those that were working here, but that's the culture they've built. Failure is okay, all right? But failure and stopping is what is the problem, okay? Failure is okay, but don't fail and then stop your failure and move on. Okay, so that is a, let me just, sorry, mute. I think I'm hearing some background. So all these are key things that we have to pay attention to, okay? Culture is very important, and how we actually engage with each other is also very important. And that's something which is very big in Kiira Motors. I should actually say, even today, if you go to Kiira Motors, except they have had to cut back because of having to meet with the SOPs and things like that. Okay, but there were one even in the other lockdown, which was quite serious. They were one of the few companies that were still trying to find ways for how they could facilitate internship. Now they couldn't take the numbers, the kind of numbers that they used to, but they still were able to take on some of the students. So this is a key, really character of Kiira Motors coming through. And I think part of it is because they are from what it takes, okay? Understand what it takes to find opportunities for internship, what it takes to and groom raw talent to the where the place where they are now. And my encouragement to you is, yes, Kiira Motors is great, and it's a great place to have internship and all, but it is not the only place, okay? It is not the only place, and there is no place that is too small for you to find internship, because you can imagine when, what was Kiira Motors, its origins, when it started out of these student innovation projects, I don't think anyone would have been, falling over themselves to have an internship with them, okay? Now everyone wants to go there because now they are big and they've made it, okay? But take pride in, for some of these, being part of the starting journey. And maybe at this point, I can also mention that we are working with the Federation of SMEs, Mr. John Walgembe. Some of you may have seen him in the press, on the news, on the TV. And the idea that we are trying to work around is how do, I don't know how many of you have heard of the concept of embedded engineers. And so the idea is, how do we embed engineers in SMEs? Because SMEs is where, when you're small, that's when there's a lot of opportunity for innovation. You can run quickly with things and all that. The risk is low, okay? So where KMC, Kiira Motors is, I'm not saying they will not innovate. They will continue to innovate, but now they're innovating in the public eye, okay? They're now innovating in the public eye. Everyone is seeing what they're doing. They're now getting huge funding, okay? I'm sure you've seen them even being visited by members of parliament, okay? So there's a lot breathing down their neck that may sometimes now make you start operating cautiously, because now you have more to lose, okay? But when you are small and starting, the risk is lower. You can take, actually, you can take more risks so that really what you're coming out with as a prototype is something really good, and that you can then build on as you move from the idea to the prototype. Lastly, what I want to also encourage is that, and maybe this is a question that we can put together for Kiira Motors to see in terms of what are the opportunities for internship, but even if not physical internship, maybe some remote or work at home type of opportunities. Because one of the things that I believe the minister said, and I think this was during the visit there, there's so many parts which go into Kiira Motors, okay? There's so many parts which go into Kiira Motors. How many of those are we making, okay? And yes, COVID-19 is going to be with us for a while, and it's going to challenge how we work. But here again, I'm speaking to the engineers, right? And I think some of you may have heard me say this before. Put up their hands in terms of what is it that we can do. Then what will the others say? So I think the onus is on us. Number one, how we can proceed in spite of the COVID-19. Being very mindful, and I know where will you go for internship? Truth of the matter is, places have cut back because the SOPs. Even at the university, we are only expecting at least 20% of the feedback. I have, like, if you see maybe from the video, you may
I'm very sorry for interrupting, but if you're joining, please help unmute Dr. Okay.
So, John, you were saying something?
Now, just trying to emphasize people joining and making noise in the background, as reminding them to mute, and apologize for the inconvenience. But anyone see that I've muted, you can proceed, Doctor. Sorry for inconvenience.
No worry. What I'll do, let me make you a co-host. So, that's why we need the Uganda Police Force. Because sometimes you have to do the policing. Sometimes you have to do the policing. So I just wanted to say really quickly, in terms of opportunities for internship, COVID has changed everything. You yourselves are going through it, okay? I believe we as engineers have the solution, but we have therefore to appreciate that if even our learning teaching and learning has been affected. So have the companies, which means the way we are going to do internship is going to differ. Okay, so I want to encourage you to please don't say, well, you know, it's not internship because we didn't spend 10 weeks physically at a company. No, the whole world is changing. Okay, and therefore our adaptability, and these are the soft skills, how we change, how we flex to meet with the new realities, in addition to other things, how we communicate. You see, now our communication is big time, okay? Because there's one way you can communicate when you're in the same space. Then you can read body language and all that, but now you're going to have to do it maybe when you are remote, okay? And sometimes the connectivity is so bad, you can't even have your video on, right? So how do you convey passion over the line, okay? How do you convey your interest? How do you take the critique you've been given and take it so I think let me stop at this point because I don't want to take up so much time. I'll hang around for a few comments in the comment box because I know we're running late for time and your next speakers should be ready. Any communication about ongoing plans? I know I've received myself a number of calls. There was a communication which had gone out. Actually, it was targeted towards faculty, but somehow it went into the student community and I got a lot of calls around that. But suffice it to say that we are working to see how we can resume the semester. Definitely, if we are to resume, it's going to be online. When we broke off, the finalists had finished their exams. Continuing students were going to start their exams. And here is where we have to apply our soft skills because we have to be option to plan A, B, C, D. And I think as engineers, we should be leading in the way that yes, when one door is shut, it doesn't mean the whole place is shut. So I'm just giving a wild example. What if we go to the old way of how we used to do things, that you study actually the whole academic year and you do your exams at the end of the academic year, okay? Is it the best solution? No, because now you will say you have forgotten the things you learned from first semester. But is it better than sitting back at home and let life go by? Maybe it is better, okay? Now, of course, me, I'm looking at it as a faculty member. Your students, okay, you will have it from a different perspective. But what I will really call for is, please, let's be open to the proposals that may come from the university in terms of what we can do for purposes of resuming our learning, resuming our research activities, resuming our internship. At least the good thing, a number of people were able to participate in Coursera last year. They saw that you could do it. It was different. Yes, you were not physically in a company, but from the feedback we got, a number of people felt they learned a lot of things through that. Some, of course, you know, it's a normal situation. So some people were extremely happy, some people were fine with it, and some people were not happy at all. And that's all fine. Maybe the very, very last thing that I want to say is that one of the things that we have not paid a lot of attention to as far as our COVID interruption is our mental health, okay? Because what COVID did, you can imagine if you're driving, and some of you maybe have had the opportunity to drive, or you have been, you know, in a car moving up and down. What happens when a car comes to an abrupt halt, okay? And especially if it was speeding, right? Chances are, if it was maybe not moving too fast, it may swerve a bit, but maintain control. Otherwise, it may actually topple over, right? So our lives were moving in a certain direction, okay? A number of you knew, okay, now by now, I'll be in fourth year, I'll be finishing, I'll be doing this, I'll be in third year, you know, there were all those plans. Along comes COVID and pop, we hit that hard break, okay? Now, your bodies, your mental health and everything has had to overnight adjust. And even as we speak now, we don't know when will schools be open, okay? When will companies be open so that we can do internship in the way we did? There's so many unknowns, and yet you need to move forward, okay? So I'd like to invite you to please take advantage of all opportunities that will be put out by the university and other reputable places for talks, about your mental health. If you need to speak to a counselor, and I know there's an online app by Makere, please reach out, okay? Do not hold back, do not keep a lot of stuff on yourselves. It will weigh you down unnecessarily. And none of us brought COVID, and none of us are going to be the reason it goes away.
Yeah.
All right, so let me stop at this point and hand back to John. Apologies, I've taken much longer than you had given me. Thank you.
No. No, not at all. Actually, you have rectified on many matters that have been pending. I would say you have hit two birds with one stone. Thank you, especially when you describe the history of Kiira Motors, how it began from SEDAT, and I would say the journey of a humble beginning has now become a mission of the possible. And I want to encourage my fellow students that we can do it. It began from there, and look at where it is. Now they're keeping pace with the largest global milestone in the evolution of engineering, technology, and automotives. So be innovative, keep pace with that, and you'll get there. Otherwise, I would say thank you a lot, Dr. Dorothy, for guiding us and being with us and showing us that you are working hard to ensure that our futures are set and getting back to study. And I can tell you there is great response from the students and are willing to comply with what will come. Yeah. So going forward.
One thing, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
All right, like you can see, I'm in office, okay? But please do not come to campus, okay? Number one, you're going to find my door locked. Number two, a lot of people are coming for this letter or that letter and everything. Right now, actually, if you came to our floor, I'm the only one here, okay? So even me, everything I'm doing online, okay? So if you need to reach out to me, please, let's do what we can online. Please don't come to campus yet until it's open, okay? Yes, I'm here, but I'm part of the 20%, okay? I don't want you to see me here and then use that as a reason to violate the 20% for Makere. Thank you, and sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. So we'll be sharing details of the dean, the email. You can reach any of our MES members. We can share you, such you don't disobey the SOPs and go to our office. And then we want to say thank you once again for throwing more light on the internship issue. And as MES, we strive to ensure that our stakeholders get the best and live to our goals and our ambitions. Thank you very much. So going forward, permit me to invite Maria to take us to the next program to engage the Kiira Motors management, who have really offered themselves to come and speak to us and tell us how they're able to beat these odds, how we can position ourselves to benefit from Kiira Motors. It's not lost on me, Kiira Motors, I saw in the news that they're going to be producing 1,000 buses a year. Wow, this is something you can't take for serious. So let me invite you, Maria, so you can lead us to the next session. Maria, are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting
okay. Thank you very much. Maria, my co-host, you can take the honors to invite Kiira Motors.
Thank you so much, John. First of all, good morning, everyone. We are so delighted to have you for such an enterprising event. Yeah, we thank you so much for sparing your time and being here with us. Like much has been said by the co-moderator, the dean. We are actually very grateful for the dean for being part of this occasion. Yeah, so as I was requested to invite the Kiira Motors team, and yeah, I'll actually go direct to that, and I will invite our first speaker, who is Alan Muhumuza, the Director of Marketing and Sales in Kiira Motors. Yeah, we are glad. Mr. Alan Muhumuza, can you hear me?
Yes, Maria, I hear you loud and clear. I hope everyone can hear me.
Kale. Okay, so now you can take over, and we are so expectant. Thank you so much for giving us such an opportunity.
Thank you so much. Allow me to share my screen, and then we take it from there. So a very good morning to you all. I would like to appreciate Dr. Dorothy, the patron of MES, for continuing to have the banner high and ensuring that we are building the next generation of engineers and innovators at the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology, and specifically the School of Engineering, as well as the leadership of the Makerere Engineering Society. Thank you so much, Edmund and your team, for always continuing to engage with the professional side of things and engaging to see how we can link academia to industry. We appreciate the collaboration, and as Kiira Motors Corporation, we are determined to continue this, dialogue and discussion to build a community around the things that we do. My name is Alan Muhumuza. I'll be able to introduce myself a bit more and share a bit of my story as we go along. But I am here on behalf of Kiira Motors Corporation, where I am the Director of Marketing and Sales. And I bring you greetings from the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Chairman, our Executive Chairman, Honorable Professor Sande Stevens Sikobri-Togbo, who at one point in his career was actually the Deputy Vice Chancellor at Makerere University, Finance and Administration, and now is our Chairman. I also bring you greetings from Paul Isaac Musasizi, his Chief Executive Officer, who used to be a lecturer at Makerere University in the College of Engineering, as well as management and staff. Some are on call today. Kiira Motors Corporation strives to be the best-in-class automotive manufacturer in Africa, and we want to see a better Uganda built through automotive technology. With 5 core values, we focus on the customer because we believe that we exist because of the customer. And we want to innovate sustainable solutions for our customers while we collaborate together to learn and grow like we are doing today in this session, while exemplifying professionalism in the things that we do, creating a culture that nurtures professional development. And through this, we'll be able to empower the team and build community.
Excuse me, Mr. Muhumuza.
Yes, Maria.
I hope you could make your mic a little bit louder. I'm having a lot of complaints in the chat. The volume is too low. Yeah.
All right. Okay, let me see what I can do. Just a moment. Let me check my settings. Just a moment. Okay. All right. Am I more audible now?
Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah,
You're welcome.
Right. In case of anything, please don't hesitate to interrupt me so that some things can be made clear. So my name is Alan Muhumuza, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales. I started off at the Faculty of Technology then, before it evolved into the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology, with a bachelor's in electrical engineering, and proceeded to do my master's in technology innovation and industrial development, still at the college. By the time it was the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology. But I also hold a charter as a marketing professional from the International Institute of Marketing Professionals in Canada. I have really transitioned through, because I did a bit of systems engineering, but through that I did some business development. And what is important is, especially in industry, you want someone who is really well versed with the products you're doing, the technologies, to be able to sell and market those technologies. We need a bit more communicators within the space of innovation, engineering, science, technology. We need more people who can communicate some of the ideas that we have, some of the innovations that we have, the products that we have. So as engineers, also call upon us, for those who might be interested and excited about marketing, about sales, about communication, it is still possible to be in such spaces and execute your calling passionately. I have been at Kiira Motors. I joined it along the way through its journey, but I've been privileged to also participate in this journey that we are on so far. Kiira Motors Corporation is a state enterprise that was established to champion value addition in the nascent motor vehicle industry in Uganda. This is through technology transfer, contract manufacturing, supply chain localization, Uganda progressive enhancement of local content participation as we build the indigenous motor vehicle industry and create optimal value in Uganda's economy. Our shareholders are Government of the Republic of Uganda, which is represented by the ministry responsible for science, technology, and innovation, with 96%, and Makerere University, which proudly holds 4%, given the history we have had and where we hail, where our foundation was really best and built up. Building the indigenous motor vehicle industry is consistent with the country's aspirations towards Vision 2040, outlined in NDP3 and the manifesto for the current government in this current term. And specifically, there are 3 areas: promotion of local manufacturing of motor vehicles, establishment of efficient, integrated, sustainable, safe, and inclusive public transport systems, as well as promotion of environmentally friendly transport solutions. Our story really starts, if you look at the period of 2007-2008, when Makerere University engineering students and staff participated in the Vehicle Design Summit 2.0. This summit was a consortium of 31 universities, and Makerere University was the only university in Africa that participated. And the consortium was aimed at building and designing and building a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle targeting the Indian market. Makerere University students and staff were responsible for the design and integration of the low power electronics and data networking systems. The team participated in the build event in Italy, and as you can see in that in that video, one of our members, one of the team members at that time, Mr. Douglas Bibita, ended up being one of the best, of the most skilled welders on the whole team internationally, and he's there welding the frame of the Vision 200 at the build event in Italy before it was unveiled in 2008. So this phase, really, the funding was really an extracurricular activity. It was not a mainstream program at the university. It was one where it was some collaboration of the students and staff with the consortium at MIT. And the funding was really through gifts, well-wishers, and contributions from Makerere University and team members at that time. When the team came back, people graduated, some moved on, but the few that stayed felt it was possible for Uganda as well to participate in the global automotive industry and bring to market and design and build a vehicle of their own. So the work started on the Kiira EV, which was designed to be a fully electric plug-in vehicle, a 2-seater compact vehicle, and was designed and built at Makerere University under the Vehicle Design Project, and was launched by His Excellency, the President, on the 24th of November, as you can see in that video. At that time, the Center for Research in Transportation Technologies was established as a research and innovation center at SEDAT. That was in January of 2011. And the funding was secured through the Presidential Initiative for Science and Technology Innovations that was supporting many other projects, part of which was the Vehicle Design Project. And the money that was received in that financial year of 450 million was used to facilitate the team and for the materials, parts, components, and other amenities that were required to deliver that green car that you can see in that slide. Subsequently, government of Uganda allocated land for the Kiira vehicle plant in Jinja, 100 acres. That was through Uganda Investment Authority in 2014, and an investment license was issued to KMC by UIA in 2014. In 2014, we also started work and unveiled the Kiira EV Smack, which you can see in the picture on the left, and it was exhibited at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi, Kenya, in November 2014. And in 2016, His Excellency the President launched the Kayola Solar Bus, the first of its kind in Africa, in 2016, February. Kiira Motors Corporation as an entity was incorporated in April of 2014 to leverage the accomplishments of the Kiira Electric Vehicle Project at Makerere University for automotive engineering and manufacturing entrepreneurship. We commenced to begin work on the site and undertook some studies, cadastral and topographic surveys, and an environment and social impact assessment, geotechnical analysis, and the issuance of the NEMA certificate in 2016 that enabled us to then start work. In this slide, you see our journey on a timeline. And I have so far taken you through what happened between 2007 to 2016. But in 2018, Cabinet approved a roadmap for the commercialization of the Kiira Electric Vehicle Project and a seed fund. And this was to establish the Kiira Vehicle Plant in Jinja. We were able to start the designs, and I'm glad to report that Technology Consults, which also hails from the College of Engineering, Design, Art, and Technology, undertook the designs of the plant in Jinja. You'll be able to see how far this has gone, and they are also the supervising consultant, the establishment of the Kiira Vehicle Plant. I hope we can still hear me. Am I still audible?
Yes, you are. Please, you may proceed. You are very audible.
Hello, am I still audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, we can hear you. You can please continue.
Just a moment. If you could just give me a moment, I need to check my audio settings here. Just a moment, please. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think
All
that's
right,
okay.
great. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, so construction commenced in February of 2019 and is being undertaken by National Enterprise Corporation, which is the business arm of the UPDF. But in 2019 of December, we also unveiled the Kayola EVS, which is a low-floor city bus with a range of 300 kilometers on a single charge. And in 2019 as well, we unveiled the Kiira EVS and took it on a cross-country tour as a hybrid sedan around the country. In 2020, we began work in collaboration with Makerere University still to design a low-cost medical ventilator, and work is still ongoing to get it towards animal trials. We also started, we acquired 1,280 acres of land in Kayunga, and the purpose of this is to establish the automotive industry and technology. Apologies, someone's trying to call me. So we are going to set up the automotive industry and technology park, where we will establish a vehicle per year, as well as parts manufacturing facilities space as well. Currently, in this year, we have brought to market the Kayola diesel coach, which is a high flow, long distance coach. And in this, part of last year, we have had the Kayola EVS and the Kayola diesel coach supporting Uganda Civil Aviation Authority to shuttle their staff between Kampala and Entebbe. And this has been happening on a daily. So since July of last year, for a year now, we have been operating the Kayola bus shuttle service for Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. In this year, we have also been able to develop our business plan, a 5-year business plan that has a pathway to get us to our growth trajectory and build value for both the customers and also the shareholders. We have also been partnering with collaborating with partners to see how we can improve public transportation within the Greater Kampala metropolitan area, which is really has so many challenges of congestion, air pollution, safety, and other challenges that come along with mobility. And we are partnering with Rentco Africa, Tondeka Metro, and we want to bring to market 1,030 buses, 50 of which will be electric, into the city by mid next year. And this will be built at the Kiira vehicle plant in Jinja. Between 2022 and 2026, we will be really facilitating and working on equipping the Automotive Industry and Technology Park with a Skilling and Innovation Center, with comprehensive proving grounds. And in January 2022, our plant in Jinja will be launched and commissioned, producing with the capacity to produce up to 5,000 vehicles per year, starting with buses and trucks. I think it is important that we also quickly just look at why it is important for us to be thinking about automotive manufacturing. I think it's important that for you to, as you're exploring your career, what is the bigger picture? Why are you interested in a certain industry? When there is motivation, then you strive to even be better, because there is greater motivation for greater things in terms of impact that you would be creating as a professional. The global automotive industry has an annual turnover of $3 trillion US, which represents about 3.65% of global GDP. So it's a really considerable market that we should be having in our conversation as Africa. In 2017, 86 million vehicles were sold. But in that year, Africa only produced 1.2 million. Africa, which has a population of about 1.3 billion people, only produced 1.2 million. And consumed nearly about the same amount of vehicles in the same year. But most of the vehicles that were produced in that year were going out to Europe, to America, to Asia, and most of them are being produced in South Africa. But by 2030, it is projected that Africa will require 10 million vehicles per year by 2030. In the ESC, by 2030, we're looking at over 600,000 vehicles required within this market. So it's important that we see how we position Uganda to be a player in this industry that is on a growth trajectory. But looking at where we are today as a country, and specifically as a city in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area, we are losing 24,000 man-hours in traffic congestion and burning over 800, which really translates about $800 million US of non-productivity lost annually. We are burning 500 million shillings daily in fuel due to traffic congestion. You know, when you're in traffic jam, you're idling your car and you're not consuming, you're not moving, but you're consuming fuel. And Africa is ranked the second highest, the second city with poor air quality in Africa, and top 15 in the world. Actually, during the first lockdown, there was a study that was undertaken by NEMA, and it established that in some areas we had air quality improved by up to 90%. And the reason is because vehicles were no longer on the road. So in vehicles, the reason for the air quality being bad is because of the vehicles we have that are at an average age of about 15 years, end of life technology. But also, we have a lot of unskilled and semi-skilled labor when it comes to the spare parts suppliers, vehicle maintenance, and service providers. And that is where, as engineers, it is important that we get to see how we can improve on the competitiveness of our services. How do we support? For example, you enter a taxi and the seats in there could be better engineered, but because there is no engineering support, the Juakali just figure it out along the way. But the Juakali are supposed to be supported by the engineers to guide them on what it is they are supposed to do to create value within the economy. Market projections show that buses between 2021 and 2030, Uganda needs 55,000 buses, 40,000 pickups, 265,000 SUVs, 100,000 trucks, and 175,000 tractors. This is an opportunity that as Uganda and as engineers, we need to explore. And I'm going to go through some of the opportunities when it comes to things like parts manufacturing, that I think as the next generation, we need to have these conversations to build the industry. So this video is just to give you some overview of part of the things that I've said. That was His Excellency launching the Kayola solar bus, and that is the status of the plant in Jinja as of July, and it currently stands at 85% completion, on track to be completed by December. Right there, you see the warehouse and the assembly building in the background where the vehicles will be produced. And then when this is complete, we'll have 40,000 square meters of production facilities, and that's how it will look like. That is what TECO designed. And there you can see the team working on the Kayola diesel coach in Nakasongola, where in the meantime, as the plant is getting ready, work was being done in Nakasongola, where that Kayola EVS, you're seeing the electric bus and the coach were built by a team of engineers, technicians, and other professionals and brought to market. That was the coach on its countrywide tour on the Mount Rwenzori slopes, enjoying our beautiful country of Uganda. These are also other shots that give you an overview of what has been happening. So far, we have a fleet of 3 that is supporting Civil Aviation Authority staff in mobility. This is them doing their duty. You can see the bus in Moroto, in Tororo. And this is the overview of the things that are in the Kayola EVS. But most importantly, you'll observe that there are other aspects beyond just the physical, the hardware. There's the software, because things like the payment management system that integrates both software and hardware, but also the bus itself. You're looking at connectivity, you're looking at display boards, you're looking at quality and safety, comfort. How do all these systems communicate? And that's where the computer engineers would come in to guide and to see how they can have these systems talking together. But on the area of supply chain localization, we would want to see how do we now bring value back to Uganda. And our target is that by 2030, 65% by value of our products should be Ugandan. So, but this is something we can only achieve as a team. And here we have our roadmap that has been laid out between now and 2026. And these are areas where, as engineers, we need to also pick interest, because if someone is set up a parts production facility, say, for example, for brake pads, we need engineers to come and do the design, the mechanical engineers to do that mechanical design, to guide the manufacturing process, the manufacturing engineers to guide on the manufacturing process, the builds of materials, the builds of quantities. We need electrical engineers when it comes to electrical systems and subsystems, if it's the battery systems, if it is the dashboard, and you have all these electronic components communicating to each other. So there is a whole wealth of opportunity within the industry beyond even what Kiira Motors can offer. Uganda Batteries Limited, one of the oldest, I think it was established in about 1952 or 1950 something, has been in business for a while, producing auxiliary batteries. They need support. How do they improve? How do they now transition from, let's say, the lead acid and the maintenance-free batteries to lithium-ion batteries? There is technology that needs to be developed there, or technology that needs to be adopted or transferred from existing partners that have been globally competitive. So there is a whole wealth of opportunity beyond what Kiira Motors Corporation can offer, but we are just a catalyst into what the opportunity of the automotive industry prospects. So the land that we have acquired in Kayunga of 1,280 acres is positioned to support that roadmap towards localization. We'll have space where parts production facilities can come and be established as a seed, as our contribution, and being near the production facility as well helps on areas of logistical management and making sure that we have optimization in integration with these systems. Now, going to what the opportunity is specifically for Kiira Motors Corporation, I thought it would be important for me to give you an overview of how the company is structured, because then that gives you an idea of some thematic areas of interest that you might pick. We have our board of directors, which is appointed by our shareholders. That is the government of Uganda and Makerere University. And the Vice Chancellor Makerere University is also a member of this board. It's a 13-member board. Our principal in the College of Engineering is also a member of the board, Professor Ali Naitwe. And the Chief Executive Officer reports to the Board of Directors, and he has a team of executive management, which is comprised of heads of department of these various departments. We have the Department of Product Development. I'll go into details of what they do. The Department of Production, Department of Marketing and Sales that I head, Department of Operational Support, and then the Department of Compliance Risk Management. Looking at the Department of Production, I mean of product development. So in product development, you're looking at develop. You know, Kiira Motors Corporation is looking at three core areas: develop, make, and sell. You develop the car, then you go out and mass produce it, and then you need to sell it. So product development does the develop strategy of Kiira Motors Corporation. So it's interested in how do we produce, you know, look at being competitive in connected, autonomous, shared, and electric vehicle technology. How do we build a supply chain localization strategy around the work that we are doing? So that roadmap you've seen, it's product development work. How do we have supplier development and management and product lifecycle management? You know, when you have a new product coming out, how do you ensure that we have suppliers for all the parts and components within the vehicle at the requisite quality that is required to meet specific standards? This department is also charged with the responsibility of conceptualization, design, cost engineering, estimation, and prototype development. So the prototypes we saw, the Kiira EV, the Kiira EV Smart, the Kayola Solar Bus, that is the responsibility of product development. They help to working together with marketing and sales. When marketing and sales goes and does market research, finds out what the customer needs, what they want, then they hand over these to the product development that then does what would term as requirement specifications and design requirements, or translating the voice of the customer into a product. And then they work out, now this is the kind of product that will meet the needs of the customer. So how do we validate it? So you go through some validation working together with marketing and sales. You do market validation, and then you work out what the supplier network is going to be. Or you can hand over then to the Department of Production, which I'm going to talk about briefly. So there are 4 divisions in the Department of Product Development. We have product design. In here, you're looking at computer-aided design, computer-aided engineering, cost engineering and estimation, design studio. And here we can have mechanical engineers, we can have architects playing a role in these areas. Then we have the powertrain and EE systems division, which you're looking at powertrain systems. So if it is an electric motor, for example, integrating with the battery system, with a battery management system. If it is an engine, integrating with the different modules of the powertrain, with the fuel tank and all that communications, electrical and electronic systems. If it is things to do with the light, sensors, and all other electronic systems. So in here, electrical engineers, telecommunication engineers, would play a very strong role in this division. Then we have vehicle integration. So you have all these things. How do you bring the vehicle together to communicate, to work as a unit? So you're looking at supplier development and management, things to do with procurement and bring on board suppliers and validating them, going through the production parts approval process with them, product life cycle management, prototype development and testing, homologation and approvals. So here we can also have the whole spectrum of engineers participating within this division. Then information systems, information technology, case vehicle technology, digital mobility solutions. Now that is information systems, that is computer engineering, electrical engineering, telecommunications engineering can have a role to play there. In the department of production, so once product development has finished with defining the product and we have validated and we know this product can work, so now it's time to mass produce it. So production's role is to mass produce vehicles on the assembly line, on the production line. That is all they do. So we have manufacturing systems as one of the divisions, and they deal with the body shop, the electrophoresis shop, where you're doing electrocoating, the paint shop, the assembly shop, maintenance, and here all engineers can have a role to play here. Mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, because you're now doing mechanical systems or electronic systems, pneumatic systems. Then we have computer engineers as well for the computer systems that have to be in the vehicle to communicate with the different components. We have technicians, people with soft skills, the blue collar job people who don't need to be engineers but are guided by the engineers. So there's a whole cocktail right there. Then we have the production planners who do scheduling, planning, control, warehousing, and logistics. And here as well, it's a concerted effort with an array of, because we have supply chain managers in here. We also have some mechanical and electrical engineers that can also support in this role. Then we have quality inspection and testing, because once you have the vehicle off the assembly line, it needs to be tested properly. So we have production systems quality, inspection, testing. And here you're dealing with ISO standards, you're dealing with UNBS national standards. So you need someone who is well versed with some of these aspects. You're looking at systems and ensuring that the systems are, for example, if it's an information system, it needs to be checked to ensure that there are no bugs, for example. Things are working as they should work. So someone needs to understand that technology. And that's why even in this role, all engineers have to play. Now, the department that I head of marketing and sales has the responsibility to lead the sales strategy of Kiira Motors Corporation. So we sell the vehicles, the parts and components for the regional market. We cover aspects of defining the customer requirements, so to translate those requirements through design thinking methodologies into product specifications, and we create long-term business value for KMC from customers, markets, and other key stakeholder relationships. So we have 4 divisions here, and in some of these divisions, engineers are also required, interestingly. So in sales, we have dealership management. So we have things to do with direct sales, value-added services, asset financing. But to be able to sell technology, you need someone who knows the technology. So I call upon engineers who also want to get into sales. It is possible, and it is very valuable that technology, because you find most technology companies out there also try to employ engineers and experts in these areas of sales. Business development is responsible for, business analytics, market analytics, business partnerships, so that we can build, for example, if we're having collaboration with parts manufacturers, business development comes in to facilitate that collaboration, so that it can be fruitful to both parties. Now, product support is the other division where engineers are very, very relevant. Actually, it is a division that is headed by an engineer. So here you're looking at service, maintenance, and repair, spare parts and warranty, human experience. So here we need engineers to lead this. So we need mechanical engineers, we need electrical engineers, we need information systems engineers and managers. So here, this role is really it's led by engineers, the product support division. And then corporate affairs, which is responsible for communication, branding, and corporate social responsibility. Now, one of the things that was pointed out was internship. We do have an internship program. And even during the period of COVID, as Dr. Dorothy had pointed out, we really ensured that there was still opportunity for you students to come and we can build and work together and collaborate together to grow together. We encourage you to apply for internship at Kiira Motors Corporation. We are open. To apply, we need you to provide a cover letter that is addressed to the Chief Executive Officer. Attach a statement of purpose, your official testimonial. We desire that, because we want the best, we desire that you should have a CGPA of at least 4.0 at normal progress. Have a CV using a KMC template, which is available on our website, an introduction letter from your head of department, and a copy of your national ID. Once we receive those, even on the immediate term, we are able to take on board up to 8 people immediately, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. As you're seeing down there, we have a team that is currently in Nakasongola working on 3 buses as we speak. Electric, 2 electric buses and 1 diesel coach. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The 1,030 buses that we're working on to deliver for the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Public Transportation System are needed when the plant is operational. We need support in those areas to prepare ourselves to meet that demand. When it comes to product development, because we still want to explore and pursue opportunities when it comes to electric mobility beyond even the bus, SUVs, pickups, sedans. There's still work happening there in product development. We need support in those areas. So this is a call to action. Please apply. We will look through. We will receive your applications, and we will see how we can integrate you into the work that we're doing almost immediately. I thank you, and I welcome any questions that might arise as we proceed to the next item. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mhumza, for that detailed discussion about Kiira Motors. I'm quite sure that we now know that the details, the history of Kiira Motors, the internship opportunities that they can provide. We are really so grateful. You've actually satisfied some of our expectations. We thank you so much. We've also learned a lot. We've learned about the different departments in the Kiira Motors company. We've learned so much. Yeah, we've also learned not to glue on a particular section. Like as engineers, we can also take on other sections. We've learned to explore other fields. And we are so much delighted for that detailed information. Yeah, so at this juncture, I would like to invite my co-hosts, Atamba Moses, to take us through the Q&A session. Yeah. Moses, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sure, I can.
Yeah, so you could please take over.
Can you get me, Maria?
Yeah, thank you. You can take over.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maria. Thank you for that great invitation. I want to thank our guest speaker from KMC, Kiira Motors Corporation, for that insightful presentation. You've answered very many of our questions. My name is Atamba Moses, and I'm going to be taking you through the Q&A session, because I believe some of us have mega questions to ask, and we really need you to clear the air. I continue thanking you so much for being part of us today. And we have Pavin. Pavin is saying, hi, I'm Pavin, and I'm doing petroleum engineering and environmental management at MAST. MAST is Mbara University of Science and Technology, I guess. So where do I fit in all this? He's asking, how does it fit in? He's doing petroleum engineering. So I don't know if our guest speaker is still around to address that question.
Yes, maybe I could take many and then respond to them at once.
Okay, so I'm going to read out 5 to you so that we don't miss out on
Yes,
any.
thank you.
Yes, Sylvia is appreciating. Then David is saying, my question is, when the production increases, is Kiira Motors going to be responsible for establishing the infrastructure, such as the charging ports for the cars? That's it from David. Then we have Ojede Benjamin. Is it possible for individuals to own shares at KMC? That comes in from a question from YouTube. We have another live audience streaming in via YouTube. So there comes a question from someone asking, is it possible for individuals to own shares at KMC? Okay. Muhammadi Bukenya is saying, I applied for internship as a mechanical engineering student last year, but I noticed only electrical engineering students, I guess, were taken. I need some enlightenment on that. Thanks. So that's what we have for now. I beg Mr. Mumza to address this.
All right. Thank you so much for those questions. I would like to take them in order. So the one who's doing petroleum engineering and environmental management, yeah, there is still opportunity. Actually, currently we have a job opening up for someone who will help when it comes to environmental management and sustainability. So there are areas there that when it comes to risk management and compliance, there are areas there on the environmental management side of opportunity. Then for David, on when production increases, will Kiira Motors establish infrastructure? Kiira Motors will develop some infrastructure. Currently, we have 3 chargers, 2 fast chargers and 1 portable charger that are supporting our electric buses. But it's going to be a collaborative effort between the government and private sector. We have had discussions with Total Uganda, who are interested in setting up charging infrastructure, and we're having very rich and good discussions there. They even recently rebranded Total Energies because they want to really focus on renewable energy. But also the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has a project to establish charging infrastructure across the country. So we'll work with the existing players and those who would want to participate to put up infrastructure around the country for charging. Benjamin, is it possible to own shares? Yes, it is. Government currently holds the 96%, but that is in public interest. Along the way, as we build our portfolio and our business case, we will go public. We'll have an initial public offering where the general public can purchase shares from Kiira Motors Corporation on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Bukenya applied for internship as a mechanical engineer, and he observed only electrical were brought on board. Yeah, normally depending on the season we are in and the needs we have, we see based on the applications we have, the needs we have, we align, and then we are able to take a decision on who to bring on board when. So that could be the reason as to why that might have happened that way, because the need at that time was for such. But right now, I encourage you to still apply for the next intake. Please apply, and we will see based on what will be needed at the time, how we can bring you on board. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Munza, for that response. Moving on, we have Ronald Muhere. He's saying, how is the process like of doing the thesis with KMC at both undergraduate and master's level? That's it from Ronald. Then Muhammad Malemesa is saying, doing construction management can I be employed? Okay, that's Muhammad. Then Oscar Muyomba says, my question is it possible for year one to come around to benchmark? Just, that's Oscar. And Agawa Abraham, Ugandans normally complain about importation of basic items like underwear, needles, and doubt how KMC ambitious projects will come to fruition. That's Agawa's point of query. Then Asa Mukwaya, thanks so much, Mr. Muhumuza, for the presentation. I would like to know how also a mechatronics engineer can fit in KMC. Yes, this is it from the questions I can get from the chat. You can please respond to those.
All right, thank you, Moses. So the process for thesis, for those who might want to do some research based on under Kiira Motors Corporation, yes, we would love that. We have actually had some of the students under the college do their final year projects directly for Kiira Motors Corporation. So we encourage you. You can also put it in writing with the proper recommendations and submit for consideration at our offices addressed to the Chief Executive Officer, and we shall be able to then take the decision and see how we can work together to deliver value. Construction management, right now we don't have a position that is tailored for a construction manager on the production line, but I'm sure that as we go along, maybe things can change. We can have things evolve, and there might be opportunity. Year ones to benchmark, we are open to actually vocational visits. Even when the plant is open, we will have plant tours open to the public. So all you would need to do is you organize yourselves and you write requesting to come and visit, and we'll plan for you. It's an open door, and we welcome you such that we can inspire each other and build the industry together. On the issue of importation and supply chain localization, localization is critical, and we have set our targets, 65% localization by 2030, and it is something we are working around the clock to ensure happens. Mechatronics engineer, yes, there is opportunity in the Department of Production and Product Development. For those who would want to always keep track of job opportunities at Kiira Motors Corporation, you can always put Kiira that is kiramotors.com careers. And whenever we have job opportunities, we post those opportunities there, requirements for those jobs. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhumuza. And I also want to thank people who are asking in questions. Thank you so much for your engagement. Yeah, and I want to move on at this very point. Aremoti Gordon says, thank you very much, staff. I feel proud to hear from our own engineers from Africa. The question is, do you make each and every part you import, or you import some parts from Europe? Then on marketing, do you sell your products to Europe, or you also consider the African countries? Thank you very much. That was Gordon. Oscar Muyombo again says, will the cars from Kiira Motors be cheaper than the existing cars? Okay, thank you, Oscar. Samuel Okiro, when will the electrical cars be available in the individuals rather than the government? That's it from Samuel. Then Moses has something to ask. I completed my diploma in fabrication and welding. We can categorize that under mechanical engineering, but I would like to advance in quality control and testing. Please, I need more light on that. That's Moses. Agawa Abraham says Uganda and Africa are predominantly agricultural. how does the KMC intend to exploit this budding sector? That's Agaba Abraham. Moving on to Kauma Paul. How do you apply for internship? I think that was highlighted in the presentation. Kayanja Brian, how has Kiira Motors handled the electricity issue in Uganda? We know that the electricity in Uganda being managed by a private company, that's Umeme, makes it expensive and unstable. That's Brian. So I beg Mr. Mungo to revert to that.
Okay, I missed Samuel's question. If you could just help me repeat it.
Samuel?
Yeah, Samuel's question. Samuel
was saying, when will the electrical cars be available rather than the government? Samuel I would request you to rephrase this question again in the chat because it wasn't so much clear. But
all right.
When will the electrical cars be available rather than the government?
Okay, so I'm going to take these questions. Indeed, thank you so much, guys. I can see the interaction is rich. I love the dialogue going on. So the first question on we make all the parts. It is currently not practical or feasible for a vehicle manufacturer to make everything on the car. So you'll find, for example, Mercedes-Benz will go get tires from Michelin, then get shock absorbers from Bosch, then get an engine from Rolls-Royce, then go get glasses from another supplier, get chairs from a different supplier. So the role of the automotive manufacturer is to define the product, because the product is your product. Just like Apple, when you look at their iPhone, it says designed in California, but built where? In China. So it's as a vehicle manufacturer, your role is how do you design a product for a specific market, and then you work out the supply chain. You utilize the global supply chain to deliver that product. It's important that there is localization of that supply chain here, and that is what, as Kiira Motors Corporation, we are striving for and working towards. We want to catalyze the development of small, medium, and large enterprises that would be producing parts and components for our vehicles. And we're already working with a number of them to already position themselves on the same. Even our buses currently, there are aspects of them that were locally sourced, things like the auxiliary batteries, the paints, the consumables, welding wires, and a few other components. And we have laid out our roadmap. We want to already start making the chassis and frame for our next buses here. The seats also from here, a nice house of plastics is expressed interest to do those. Batteries, there's already an interest from one of the private sector companies to make lithium-ion batteries here. Brake pads, there's a company that is setting shop right next to our plant in Jinja that will be supplying us with brake pads. So there is opportunity, and we will be doing export promotion and import substitution. So I think this answers the first two questions. Will our cars be cheaper? Yes, they'll be more affordable. The reason is, one, when you import parts, you don't pay import duty. Unlike if you had to import a fully built bus, you still pay import duty, but also you're saving on the logistical costs. So this value will be sent to the final consumer through reduction in prices. But we'll also have financing available for our vehicle purchases. Samuel, on when will electrical cars be available? I think that was the question. If it was not, you will let me know. But our electric cars are already available. The Kayola EVS buses have been on the road since July of last year, transporting Uganda Civil Aviation Authority staff every day. Mechanical engineering and how you can get into quality control. Yes, actually, our quality and inspection manager is a mechanical engineer. So there is opportunity there. It's just to build your portfolio around the same. If that's your interest, please pursue it. It is a very good opportunity because we need to ensure that the products we have on the road at the requisite quality. How do we explore the agricultural economy? There's a lot of value in agriculture that even comes into the automotive industry. Things like banana fiber, banana fiber can actually be used not only to make upholstery within the bus, but also to do the body. There's research there that is being undertaken on how banana fiber can be used to make body parts. But also the floor of our Kayola buses is made of bamboo. So there's already integration. But we'll be also making trucks. Now, these trucks are supposed to help to transport our agricultural produce from the gardens to the marketplace, enabling the farmers to earn an income. So there is both, it's a two-way integration and collaboration between the two industries. How are we managed to with electricity in Uganda? Currently, our production of electricity is about 1,600 and something megawatts. I don't have the exact figure, but in the recent budget speech, there were some figures there. And our consumption at peak is less than 700 megawatts. So we are over capacity, and some of these dams were built on loan, and the loans need to be paid. So the electric buses will go a long way to utilize that excess capacity. Of course, now the issue of reliability, now that's an issue of the grid. And I know as engineers, our responsibility, electrical engineers specifically, that are in that area are working to ensure that there is reliability and redundancy within the grid and with a grid management system that is reliable. That is something that government is continuously working on, and we have seen a considerable improvement in reliability of electricity over time. So this is really a plus because we are over capacity. The buses are there to utilize that capacity, and there will be continual integration and collaboration with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, such that the charging infrastructure can equally be in every place, in every corner, to facilitate the uptake of electric vehicles in the country. Thank you. Over to you, Moses.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muhumuza, once again. Moving on, Mwanja Charles saying, I beg your pardon on when the next batch for internship is expected. That's Charles. Then Omel John says, can you please clarify on revenue collection for taxi operation and integration on the automated fare collection system, which is part of your good vision? That is John. Andrew Nwamanya is requesting that you can share your contact and recommend your presentation, Mr. Alan. Robert Nwamanya, how is the corporation prepared to compete with outside manufacturing companies in the industry? That is Robert. Agava Abraham, again, how can Uganda compete with Chinese firms and other tech giants? Because a lot of jobs have been handpicked by outsiders in road construction, products, and services sector. Kauma Paul is requesting that you present the KMC SWOT analysis. And Etiam Aaron is requesting you re-echo the issue of internship requirements. Then Ambrose says, let's have the website for KMC shared here. Thanks. Yeah, so Ambrose's query is the same as someone was asking for the contact and everything, so you can combine that in one. Back to you, Mr. Alan.
Thank you so much. I'll start with Charles. The next batch for internship is immediate. Please apply. Clarification on the revenue collection of the public transport system. Yeah, this is a collaborative effort because Kiira Motors Corporation is not a bus operator, but we have collaborated because it's part of our strategic objectives to see how we can establish safe, reliable, inclusive, sustainable transport solutions within urban centers. So I have collaborated with Tondeka Metro Company Limited and Rentco Africa to establish or institute the mass transit bus system within the Greater Kampala metropolitan area, starting with 1,030 buses, 50 of which will be electric by mid next year. So there is a company that is building the revenue collection and ticketing system, which has already been integrated with mobile money, Visa, MasterCard, and Union Pay payment gateways. And it will be a cashless system. So you can top up your card depending on the fare you want. You can do daily, weekly, monthly, and it will be a card that can give you access to any bus on any route, on any time, at any day, any place you want to go. So that is really how it will be working. Once the whole thing is ready, we will be able to communicate to the general public on the proper procedure to attain your passes or your tickets and to start operating those buses come next year. My contact, I'm going to share it on the group shortly. How KMC is prepared to compete, and I think this is also related to the SWOT analysis. Yeah, we have done a comprehensive business plan to get us competitive, and it shows that even from the first year of production, we will be profitable. So in terms of competition, we already have a first mover advantage within the region. Kiira Motors Corporation is the champion of green mobility in Africa. So we have already set ourselves apart and are already on that path in the new economy, on the new circular economy when it comes to mobility. So we are leveraging that, and also government goodwill, given that government is a shareholder. We have worked out an automotive industry and technology, the automotive industry policy, because policy is critical. And it's the next step is to take it to cabinet, working together with the ministry responsible for science and technology and innovation. And that policy will help us to be more competitive even on the market. Not just us, but also other players, because one of our core values is collaboration. We believe that collaboration is key. And our plant, we will be able to not only make our buses and our vehicles, but we can also make vehicles for other people through what we call contract manufacturing service. So it's a collaboration in the automotive industry, and we embrace that. And we have gone a long way to address both the weaknesses and threats, and capitalize on our strengths and opportunities for our growth trajectory. The website is also coming on chat if Ruth hasn't shared it yet. Over to you. Yes, Ruth has shared the website on chat. Please check it out, as well as the direct link to our careers for those who might have people who have the credentials of the employees we are looking for. How about you, Moses?
Thank you very much, Mr. Alan. I believe those were very clear and precise responses. We have close to 6 questions remaining for queries, and I would want to do this real quick. Alan Baleke says a simple question, please. In the long run, will Kiira Motors take in AI and ML engineers? That's Alan. Samuel, when will the KMC electrical engineers be available for everyone to purchase as private cars, rather than being a government project? For example, right now, where they are concentrating on buses is transport in Uganda. That's Samuel. Muhammad Bukenya, as a mechanical engineering student who has done design using standard tables and software like SolidWorks, which car parts can be designed for your company? Then Mwanja Charles says, do you import any sophisticated car parts like engines? That's Charles. Robert, thanks for your presentation. Electrical cars are upcoming at a high speed. Don't you think it will affect oil and gas production? That's Robert. Then lastly, one of the last questions. Brinton Ayebaziwe, thank you so much, Mr. Alan Mohomuze, for the insightful session. My question is to inquire on that. compatibility of the electric and diesel buses made in Uganda with the existing poor road infrastructure in most of the parts of Uganda, or that KMC has east-to-east transport in the Kampala metropolitan and the nearby areas. Thanks. Then I can see, thank you, Ruth Naseje, for sharing the TV template, and I believe it will be shared in the different social media platforms. Charles, I appreciate that EV is a profound contribution towards the world smart green grid targets by 2050. How have you dealt with the issue of cybersecurity in relation to the digitalization of Kiira EV? Thank you, Charles. I think we shall have that. Oh, there's this other one. Agava, it goes to faculty. It's just that said that we are under confirmed about KMC. Also, the design software such as Solid Edge used at SEDAT are outdated compared to current generation software like SolidWorks, but faculty has always hesitated to upgrade. Okay. I think that's it. You can revert to this, Mr. Allen, as we close our Q&A.
Thank you, Moses. Wow, these questions are exciting. I think that if I got it right, he was asking if they are AI engineers. You can clarify if that was not what they said. But in the current fourth industrial revolution that we are in, robotics, artificial intelligence are some of the key pillars when it comes to industrialization and manufacturing. And these are things we are looking into critically. Self-driving vehicles. Actually, there's work going on in the Department of Product Development on some of these new technologies. So there is opportunity that is already there, even in the immediate. Or now this can be better supported as we become competitive on the global scale. When cars will be ready for purchase, they are already ready. They're already on the road. We are not a project anymore. Kiira Motors Corporation is a company. And we already have our buses ready for purchase, and the 1,030 is testament of the response to our readiness for production, our readiness to meet demand. So that 1,031 can say that is our first order for the Kiira vehicle plant, and we want more. We have already engaged a number of companies, and we've had inquiries from as far away as the Caribbean. What car parts can be designed? A vehicle has over 30,000 parts. So you can design any part of the vehicle that you have interest in. If it is aluminum profiles, if it's bolts and nuts, if it is a seat, if it's a harness, if there are so many options. So depending on what it is you want to do, please explore and go for it. Doing imports of car parts, yeah, we thrive on a global automotive supply chain, just like every other car manufacturer. It's difficult to have everything within your borders because you have to attract investors, you have to have the proper environment for that specific part and component. In some cases, you have to be near the mineral deposits or the raw materials. So there are so many factors that affect even technology and innovation. So there are so many factors that affect where parts manufacturers and suppliers can be. So we thrive on that same supply chain, but we want to see how we can localize as much of it as possible. Our oil and gas, won't electric cars make it relevant? I don't think it will make it relevant. Yeah, we have the shift to electric vehicles, true. One thing to observe is oil and gas is not only used in cars. Plastics need oil and gas. Our roads, the bitumen and all that need oil and gas. Pharmaceuticals need oil and gas. Aviation needs oil and gas. So the oil and gas is still there and is still here to apply, but also it won't be a step function. When I was doing engineering school, I recall there was that step function from 0 to 1 immediately, instantly. There won't be that step function of all the cars on the road shifting from electric or diesel to electric. I mean, from diesel or petrol to electric. It will be a gradual shift. And the vehicles that are already in circulation will still be in circulation for at least the next 15 years, and they'll still need petrol and diesel. So there is still opportunity for our oil and gas, not only in mobility, but also in other areas of adoption. Compatibility of electric and diesel with infrastructure and roads and other things. A diesel and electric bus, the only thing that differentiates them is the powertrain. The design of the bus is not changed. If it is shock absorbers, there's nothing else that changes apart from the powertrain. So for wherever this bus can be used, the other can also be used. There is no difference when it comes to use case. Lastly, on cybersecurity and digitization, yes, this is critical because now, for example, we have a passing experience system, which actually some of the students who are doing internship collaborated in building. And that information system is that information system has measures to mitigate because you have to put in place things like firewalls. If you can have maybe a DMZ around the kind of networking you have, if you're communicating with the different buses, for example, in a control center, and you're sending these signals, they need to be encrypted, end-to-end encryption. So there are measures in place to ensure that data is protected, but also the Wi-Fi we have on board is also protected with an encrypted key, such that it's difficult across as you're doing your communications. You can't have phishing of information, of private information. And the ticketing and revenue accounting system will be hosted here by the data centers here in Ratio and MTN, with some redundancies and layers. Because in your presentation layer, that's fine. But when it comes to the data layer and the data layer and the application layer, there are measures in their firewalls to help mitigate the risk of cybercrime with these information systems. Over to you, Moses.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Alan Mumuza. We have come to the end of our Q&A session, and I would want to read to you Mr. Mumuza's contact, 0701 998 223, 0701 998 223. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mumuza, for answering the queries. And due to time, I would want to close this session and hand over back to you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh my, oh my. You simply cannot make this stuff up. I can see the engagement, the questions, they are really, really vibrant and speaking a lot to the understanding. And I thank Mr. Muhumuza for explaining and stating and conveying all in details and speaking of matters that really concern us, especially on these topics that are evergreen as pasture. At this juncture, let's go to the next product, and I can't stop saying I'm overwhelmingly happy because of the presentation and seeing that Uganda, we are heading in a good direction. That is really promising. Wow. So going forward, permit me at this point to invite our president, our team lead, who has pushed us to ensure that we get to this partnership. And just to remind you, these engagements are going to keep on board because they are partnered up with them. This is just the occasion to officialize it. So your questions will be answered at the later stage because you have other engagements with them. Thank you. I hand back to you, President. Can you get me?
Yes, I can clearly get you.
Thank you very much. Please, President, take the floor. The floor is all yours. Thank you, President.
All right. Thank you very much, Omer. Good morning. Yes, still the morning hours. Good morning to the participants alongside the delegation from Kiira Motors Corporation, more specifically Mr. Andrew Muhumuza, alongside Ms. Judith Naseje, who have been taking us through the whole course of this presentation today morning. we're extremely happy and delighted to host you today. You know, we really got a lot of questions during the last session we had. And it's actually from those questions that we looked into having, say, a specific webinar for KMC to come and share about the opportunities, about their company profile, about how they started, and all these different attributes that we as aspiring engineers find really key, since these are the employers we're looking to. These are the different organizations and companies that we are targeting to join post-graduation. And I believe Mr. Alan Mhumza's presentation has really tackled everything that we earlier had as questions concerning how the company started, concerning the requirements for internship, concerning the vision, and wow. I don't know about you, but I've really been inspired by this whole presentation concerning the whole vision KMC has, looking into the next 5 years ahead, looking into the different markets, looking into even the vision that they have for Africa, because this is something that is really quite big. And I hope us as the attendants, and best of all as Ugandans, this is something that we're taking really key, because they're also pushing generally Uganda to a whole new state, being one country that's going to be really taking up this whole motor production and electric cars all to another new level. So I convey my appreciation to you, Mr. Alan Mhumza, alongside Ms. Ruth Nasede, who we've been communicating with. She's the media strategist, and she was helping us with all the communications and putting things in order. Additionally, I would also like to convey my appreciation on behalf of the society and the administration to the CEO, Professor Paul Isaac Musasizi, who shared in insights during the webinar we had last time, and also our members of the administration present, Dr. Dorothy, for all the support and for guiding us all through as we've been putting different blocks in place. So really, my communication is more towards us as the people who have attended. We have heard from KMC, we have heard about the requirements, we've heard about their vision. So let's look into ways that we can be able to use this time productively to learn different skills and things that can make us really valuable to them. We've had the different aspects to do with the departments within KMC, the product designs, the marketing. For those who thought maybe engineering is only, it only has to do with manufacturing, you've had that also possibilities of engaging in different departments within the company. So I just want to encourage and beseech you all to look into ways that you can use this time productively, you know, see what can you learn. Could it be maybe a programming course? Could it be maybe learning how to weld? I mean, you've seen and basically heard from them what they look at and what different aspects they find valuable. Because yes, you shall reach, be it internship, the request for the CGPA, but then what other skills can you add to the table? Why would they choose you and not say the other 73 people or 70 people on this call? And as the Macedonian Society, we are glad and we're happy that this has been very interactive, that you have asked the questions, that they've answered, and best of all, that also people have been tuning in from also the YouTube live stream platform. And this really gives us joy, since you are major stakeholders and finding these discussions quite insightful. As John said, we'll be having some more engagements coming in soon, as we also keep abreast on the whole situation as per the university timelines and as per communications that will come in from administration and discussions within that line. And just to really sum it up, thank you once again, Kiira Motors Corporation, for the time you've spared off. These extremely busy people, but then they've taken off time to come and really give us insights and inspire us to look into ways we can better prepare and even more understand the different pathways that we can look into when we are applying. And at this point, I would like to call upon our Vice President, Maureen, who is on the call, and she's going to convey the closing communication and will eventually end this meeting. But thank you all for attending. It's been quite insightful, and the video will also be on our YouTube channel for those that would wish to go back, look through, and rethink and remember everything that we've been having today. Thank you. Maureen, if you're on the call, you can take over the floor and do your communication. Yes, Maureen.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. My sincere appreciation goes to our guest today, the KMC Corporation, and I thank you, Mr. Alan Mumza for today. And I really won't get tired of thanking our Dean, Engineer Dr. Dorothy in absentia. She has been there for us always. And we really hope for the betterment in everything you're doing with KMC. As engineers, sometimes we might be scared of how we can deal with the challenges outside there, but I really know that KMC has actually proved it to us that with a unique idea, you can be better, you can compete. So let's not get worried of any competition outside there, because from the chat, I saw very many people were asking about how we shall cope up with the competitors outside. But I believe we can do the best. Yeah, I thank all the students outside there who have been with us today via YouTube. I thank all those who have actually made it always for these meetings. A lot has been shared before, and as MES cabinet, we realized that we need to go ahead with academics and we need to keep in mind that we are students, even amidst this pandemic. So that's why you realize that we are organizing most of these activities, because we need as students to keep in touch and we see what we can do, because all these challenges come up to sharpen our minds. So we really look forward to work with you any other time we call upon you, and we request you to participate always. Some other thing I would wish to talk about today, we realize that as students, we have some challenges that have been taking place, and specifically for Makero Engineering Society, we realize that there is some issue that has been pending for some good time. We realize students have been having results complaints, and we decided to look into it in a way that we can get in touch with administration and we see how we can help out on this. So later on this day, we shall be sharing a link where it's a Google form. You will be requested to share with us some of your complaints that you have always had and maybe the progress you have taken towards having them resolved. And it will really be for Makero Engineering Society students only. So all other students outside may not need to look at it this time, but you realize there is some part where you're required to upload a screenshot of your testimonial. So that part, I know some of us who might feel insecure, but the truth is that information will be confidential and it will not be shared beyond the MES cabinet and the administration. So feel free to submit on every field the requirements, and any progress we shall take, we shall be informing you via your emails that you will share with us. And I know we keep positive, because we realize that even some students might go ahead and reach their graduation when have not returned to school physically. So we need to look at these issues, and that's why we are working on it amidst this pandemic. So I call upon everyone to be positive. And when you get that link, you can share it with your other friends who may not be online at that time. And this form will last for a week. We shall give it a week so that within 1 week, at least, we expect a student who is aware of the ongoing online activities. In a week, at least you can check online on WhatsApp. So after 1 week from today, we shall be closing it, and you go ahead to meet the administration and see how we can go about it. Otherwise, I continue to thank you so much, and I really appreciate your attendance today. it has been really a lot that I harvested personally. At this time, I request John to take on and close this meeting. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maureen. Thank you very much, the President. I'll still say that we as MES, we strive to set the light down the path as you navigate your career to make it easy for you to get there and see all the opportunities that you're there. I'm just going to share the details of the MES cabinet. You can contact any member of this cabinet in case of any queries. That's a cabinet. In case you need of any services, you can contact that one, any of the people there. Then our contacts and our websites, our Twitter handle are on. You can still follow up on our activities basing on that. And I'll really say how much honored we are that this occasion has come to this achievement. And say enough has been said, but more will come up with more events and more eye-opening insights. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. We are much glad and honored to see your turn-ups and how motivated you are to be on building your career. Thank you a lot, Mr. Alan. Thank you a lot, the Dean. Thank you a lot, Ms. Cabinet. And once again, thank you people following us. Thank you very much. We are honored.